Hey, it's Meteorologist Cory Reppenhagen with the 9 News Weather Impact Team with a little bit of an update on your weather. If you haven't heard, it's going to get cold, and it's already getting cold. We're down to 3 degrees at Denver International Airport, and it's 10 degrees here at the 9 News studios in downtown Mile High City at 7:30, and the forecast is for us to get down into the negatives. So that's the next step for this storm. We've already had some pretty cold temperatures and we've had some snow, but now the next step is to drop into the negatives, and then we'll bring in the big wind chills. So let's take a look at the snow totals here, because the snow that is actually one of the reasons why it hasn't gotten too cold yet, because we've had some cloud cover overhead during those snow showers. Of course, we do have some flurries still ongoing, and so that does insulate us just a little bit, doesn't allow the heat to escape out into outer space, and that has kept us just a little bit warmer, at least kept us from dropping into the negatives just yet. And here are the snow totals on the Front Range were pretty nice. I mean, we're looking at 2.2 inches at Denver International Airport and 13.5 inches at Lookout Mountain. So Lookout Mountain's not really that far out of the metro area, so you could kind of say that we had between 2 and 14 inches across the metro area. We had some snow up towards the north, the 3.7 in Fort Collins, a lot of 4 somethings in Fort Collins as well. Denver, we had a lot of reports of 3 to 4 inches for the most part in Denver. So really good snow coming from that system, at least the initial part of it. And now all the snow advisories have moved off on, they've all kind of expired for the night as the snow diminishes. And now we're left with the cold. And that will be the story as we go through the rest of this cold snap, is the extreme temperatures. So the blue areas there, which includes the Front Range, that is it's a cold weather advisory. So we're going to look at for temps that could get down as low as -10, and this includes the Front Range and the Northeast Plains, and the wind chill temperatures could be as low as -25. And one of the best opportunities to feel one of those -25s is right here in the Denver area, because we're going to have those temperatures hovering around -5 to -7 in the morning, and it would only take a 10 mile per hour breeze to create a wind chill of -25. So that's some high impact stuff there. Frostbite takes about 30 minutes to set into bare, unprotected skin at that temperature. You also see the blue or the purple, and that is the extreme cold warning or warning as it says. We'll have to add an N to that for the next newscast. Wind chills as low as -46, and that is for some of the Mosquito Range and the Sawatch Range above 11,000 feet. So that does include a few of those passes and some of the high country out there. Very dangerous wind chills. It takes less than 10 minutes to get frostbite at those temperatures. And the green areas there that you see, which includes part of the Yampa Valley near Steamboat Springs and also near Montrose in the Grand Valley, that is for a watch that will likely turn into a cold weather advisory for very similar temperatures, what you see in the blue there. So this cold is going to stay here until Tuesday morning. The sun comes out on Tuesday. We'll start to break out of this, but that's still a long cold snap. Let's look at the next 2 days here in Denver, focused around the National Western Stock Show forecast. So Sunday morning is going to start out really cold in the -7 to maybe -10 range, and then we're going to get up to a high of about 17 tomorrow. We will see quite a bit of sunshine tomorrow, so you may actually feel some of that as you're going from activity to activity in the National Western Stock Show. And then we're going to have a wave of snow coming in tomorrow night. It'll probably come after the stock show activities have been completed. And then we're going to drop into the negatives again on Monday morning, somewhere between -6, as you see the forecast there, and -10 is the potential once again. Could also be snowing still in the mornings, but on Monday morning, I think the snow will be done. by the time the stock show activities begin for Monday. And then we'll have another negative temperature. The recent modeling has shown that the best potential for -10 would be Tuesday morning. We have the forecast for -8 right now, but those are a couple of really cold days after what was a pretty easy first week of the National Western Stock Show. And these numbers here, the Arctic blast highlights, these are some of the numbers that we've been forecasting to highlight what the potential for this storm. And when we're looking at the cold duration, hours below freezing, we've been saying anywhere between 90 and 110 consecutive hours. It does look like now that Tuesday will just break the freezing mark, so we're looking at about 93 consecutive hours of below freezing temperatures. The lowest temperature in the forecast right now is -10, and like I said, I think we do have that potential to hit it on 3 consecutive mornings, or at least 1 out of the 3, tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday morning. The coldest wind chill, -30. That's going to be a little tough to do because the winds aren't expected to be too strong. But if we get down into the -7 range and add a 10-mile-per-hour wind, that gets you up to about -25 for the wind chill. So we'll be close to that. And then the snow totals we've been calling for have been in the 3 to 6 range for Denver, and we already have 4 to 5. So we're only 1 inch away from getting to the very top of that forecast range. So it'll be on the higher end for sure, because we do have one more wave coming. The high temperatures tomorrow could get back into the teens, kind of similar to what we felt today. We'll see quite a bit of sunshine tomorrow in and out of the clouds. Some low clouds, sunshine showing through those low clouds. So there will be some warming, and it may be somewhat rapid. So we're at -7 by sunrise, and we could be at 9 or 10 by noon. So the warm-up could happen rapidly, but we're not going to get too high, staying in the middle to upper teens across the metro area. And you see the forecast temperatures across the rest of the region. It's just going to be a cold day across the state of Colorado. And one of the impacts, I think, is going to be those wind chill temperatures, -15 to -25. The best chance to hit this range, I think, is tomorrow morning, on Sunday morning, because that'll be the most wind there as the snow starts to wrap up. Tonight we'll see that, and then one more chance on Monday morning, right as that snow is wrapping up. But the frostbite can set in about 30 minutes, especially with that -25 range, the -20 to 25, which is certainly possible. So what you have to do is just limit the exposure to your bare skin to make it less than 30 minutes, so that you don't get that opportunity to see that frostbite issue creep up there. As far as the snow is concerned, the flurries that are still ongoing right now on the Front Range and parts of the Eastern Plains will likely continue until about 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock tonight, and then those will start to dissipate a little bit as the clouds lift up a little bit higher, and we may even get a little bit of clearing. If we get some clearing tonight, we may make a run at that -10 in the morning. But then you see the next wave of snow coming in tomorrow night sunshine in and out through the day. This kind of a fast-moving squall of snow could arrive by about 10 o'clock in Denver, moving from the north of Front Range down to the south. And it could have some heavy snow in it, but it's very fast moving and doesn't last very long. As you see in the modeling there, it's gone even before sunrise, and here we are at 9 a.m. There's just a few flurries left around like there was today. And then by about 7 o'clock tomorrow night, the skies will clear and the cold air will move away. And so that clearing on Monday night into Tuesday, I think, is what's going to give us the potential to hit that -10 on Tuesday morning, because you have the cold Arctic air still in place, and you have the clear skies at night, which allows any heat that the Earth is able to produce to escape into outer space, and that is going to leave us with, it's called radiational cooling. That's going to leave us with a very cold morning on Tuesday. Here's the snow forecast, by the way, for that Sunday night into Monday morning system, that squall. We're looking at the best potential, the highest potential is in the 1 to 2 inch range here across the Front Range, a little less out on the eastern plains, and then the same spot that got hit the most with this last snow is going to see the same potential to get the higher amounts, although not anywhere near the 8 to 13 range. It'll be more in the 2 to 3 or maybe 2 to 4 range there in the foothills of Boulder County and northern Jefferson County. Here's the way your day looks on the timeline here in Denver. We're into the negatives by about midnight tonight, getting down into the negatives, -5 at 3 a.m., -7 by 5 a.m., and then by 9 a.m. after the sun comes up, we're up into the positive numbers. And I think we'll see that sunshine, but only get into the middle to upper teens, and the low temperatures across the rest of the area. Here's where everyone else is going to be starting tomorrow. You can't escape the negatives here on the eastern half of Colorado, in the foothills or the mountains. Maybe the only spot that in Colorado that escapes the negative temperatures tomorrow morning would be the western slope. And here's a closer look at the Front Range, kind of zoomed in there. A lot of teens in there, 15 in Greeley, 14 in Fort Collins. Even some of the foothills are in the cool, but this air is very heavy. So the cold air is super heavy and it kind of sinks down low. So you might see temperatures in the foothills potentially being a little warmer than they are down here in the Denver area. But the big impact, I think what's going to really feel painful is going to be the wind chills. Here's the forecast for 7 a.m. Sunday morning, -23 wind chill here in Denver, and that is essentially a -7 air temperature and a 10-mile-an-hour breeze. It's going to feel like a -23 temperature. Out on the eastern plains, not quite as breezy as the Front Range, so the potential for wind chill a little lower, but I can definitely see some -20 to 25 wind chills out on the eastern plains as well. And these wind chills are actually not too unusual in the mountains, because the mountains is a cold and windy place. Gunnison looking at a -42 wind chill, and that's very close to that area where we have that extreme cold warning. And so we're looking at some potentially very cold wind chill temperatures. And by the way, the mountain valleys, places like South Park and North Park, Yampa Valley, you could hit -40 without the wind chill. So there's some really cold potential down in the mountain valleys. And so here's some impacts for you. Your heat bills, right? I mean, it's going to be a little expensive. Everybody's going to have to run that heat. It's the coldest air that we've seen this winter so far. And some things you can do, I mean, hopefully you've kind of already done this, but you still have an opportunity as we break the sunshine out tomorrow, is to shrink wrap your windows. I do this every winter. It works really great. You can get that window shrink wrap freeze protection at places like Lowe's or Home Depot, and you can shrink wrap your windows, and it'll keep some of that cold air out. And you can also do blankets. You can just put blankets, drape them in front of your windows and the doors that you don't use as much. You can put those blankets over the door and keep the heat out and save yourself some money on those heating bills. And some other impacts here, I mean, we're talking about some broken pipes potentially with below freezing for 90 to potentially more than 100 hours if it doesn't warm up on Tuesday. That could lead to some broken pipes. So one of the things you can do, and this is kind of proven to work, is to leave a slight drip in one of your faucets or two of your faucets, especially if they're kind of close to exterior walls. And the theory there is pretty simple. Moving water takes a lot longer to freeze than stagnant water, so you can save your pipes a little bit by doing something like that. And so when you look at the extended forecast there, we're not getting out of this until we get to Tuesday morning. So Tuesday morning is when this is going to move out. So we're looking at a full impact day on Sunday, extreme cold, and that snow, that wave of snow coming in the evening will be the impacts. And then Monday is a full impact day for your Martin Luther King Day. And just like last year, kind of convenient that the school kids are already off in observation of MLK Day. So that does help alleviate some trouble because there will be a lot less people or traffic on the road with schools not in, and also government holidays, so a lot of people will be off, and that could alleviate some of the trouble on Monday morning because that wave of snow could, add a couple more inches of snow, and then you get the cold and the traffic on the roads. It could lead to some trouble, so it's a good thing that that's a little, there's going to be a lot less people on the road. So that extreme cold and that first wave of snow will be the impacts there. And then that -8 there in the forecast, that's for Tuesday morning. And so that's why Tuesday morning is also red with a half impact day. We'll probably carry that at least through the morning hours and maybe into the noon news on Tuesday. And then we'll open it up and we'll be out of this thing 90 or so hours later, and the rest of the week looks relatively normal with high temperatures near normal and low temperatures near normal, especially Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So that's the forecast. Thanks for watching, and do everything you can to stay warm and protect yourself. Have a good one.